Okay, on the bus now for day 2 of our EGX special. Hopefully caught up on the first part. If you didn't, go back and listen to the first part to find out all the fun things we did yesterday.
Yeah, no spoilers.
How are you feeling today, Dante?
I am feeling a little bit better than I was yesterday. I consumed a little bit less beer, and I stayed up for a while killing a lot of rednecks in Far Cry 5, so I'm feeling fairly chilled.
I'm the opposite. I feel worse. I think I've come down with the EGX lurgy. Got a sore throat. I've obviously probably shouldn't have been licking the controllers. I like to do that just to get a tactile feel for them, but I think it's probably backfired on me.
Well, you said that they've been developed so that they taste horrible to discourage people from licking them. So
those are the Switch cartridges, not the actual PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch
controllers as well because
I just thought it was funny.
Shit.
But obviously I had to lull you in a false sense of security, so I really scored an own goal, to be honest.
Yeah, and I had to apologise to so many security guards because of that.
I know, but I made you do it first, and I did it in the background. I don't really know why I did it now, because so it's backfired massively. I feel a bit poorly. So I'm on the way to the train station. I'm going to get some strepsils and some more food. And today, what are we thinking we're going to do today?
Well, I've heard that Disco Elysium is worth checking out, so we should maybe go and have a look at that one. I think we did all the big games yesterday, certainly all the ones I wanted to see. What was that? Is it Starlink you wanted to have a look at?
Yeah, I fancy having to go on Starlink. I fancy maybe having to go on Life is Strange 2. It might be a cue for me to do that, because I'm a big fan of the franchise so far. Other games that I'm looking forward to, I think we need to hit the indies a bit more. We didn't really have much time. We did most of our merchandise purchasing yesterday.
Yeah, I think we've kind of identified what we might be going back for if we have enough money left at the end of the con. I've noticed a few good bits of merch. So
I bought a Shadow of the Colossus hoodie, so I'm quite happy. Yeah. So I quite like it because it's slightly off the beaten track.
Yeah, I think if I've got enough money left, I'll be going home with a Wolfenstein 2 hoodie. So yeah, that's what I've got on my to-do list.
We won't be hitting the VR today.
No.
It did not work for us well yesterday. So we haven't done any of the PC stuff either. We're not really PC gamers, but for media coverage, we probably should check it out as well.
Yeah, there was one stand, apparently, if you just take a selfie in front of it and post it somewhere, that you might win quite an expensive gaming rig, so I could potentially become a PC gamer if that happened. But
I think you only win the graphics card. I think you only win the GPU.
Oh, what?
But that's still quite a lot of money, so you could still sell it or build a PC around it. You've got most of the expense there.
Or I could sell it and get an Xbox One X.
Or PlayStation 4.
Or a PlayStation 4, so I could actually play Spider-Man, which was really good.
Yep. Okay, so we'll probably wrap this segment up here. We'll give you an update once we get in again. I think we might also be meeting up with some other people today.
Yeah, hopefully. There's a few other of the YouTubers we follow having meetups, so let's see if we can get to meet those guys.
It'll be fab, and if we do, we'll see if we can grab it there. There was a bit of promotion, met some nice people yesterday.
Yeah, no, we gave out some business cards and kind of met some nice guys that might follow our podcast. So hopefully, if you're new to the show and you're listening, that you met us at EGX, welcome.
And if you listen to it and don't really like it, that's fair enough. I probably would be the same as well.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't like us either.
No. Okay, guys. So thanks very much, and we'll see you in a bit. So midday update here from second day of EGX. We've had a pretty good morning this morning. We've actually spent a bit of time socialising, we don't normally tend to do.
No, very antisocial people in general, not just antisocial gamers, we just don't like people, and there are so many here.
I know, it's been difficult for us, but we did go meet up with the very lovely Gaz from Pretty Good Gaming, as big fans of his YouTube channel, and that was great. Met some other gamers and met a few other people. And we've go into more detail, but we're hoping to get some interviews. We've been lined up with someone we met there. I'll go pass his details on later on and link it in. But right now, we urgently need to go to the toilet.
Thanks for sharing. Yes, absolutely. I am very much in need of relief, which sounds even worse. So
yeah, it's a we. It's number one, right?
It's either a slash or a comfort break or a whiz or piss. However you want to describe it.
It's one of those. So we're going to go do that, and hopefully we get some interviews for you and some other bits and bobs.
Yeah, I'm not interviewing people in the toilet.
That's the way. They're a captive audience. This is the way we can do it. We're struggling.
Well, yeah, but I don't think...
Just get in there. Just take the microphone, get in there, and just you shove it in someone's face. They're going to talk to you.
All right, give me the microphone.
All right, come to...
Okay, it's Dante Rodriguez from the Jambags podcast. How are you How are you enjoying EGX so far?
When I said interview people in the toilets, I meant other people, not me. I'm going to the toilet next to you.
Sorry, who are you?
It's Rudy. I just gave you the microphone like 2 minutes ago.
Okay. I'll put my glasses on and try someone else.
This is an utter waste. Come on, just stop looking at me. Stop that. I'm going. Hi there, talking to you, Quang, who's created Mao Mao Castle. Thank you very much. Absolutely fantastic game. Hand gestures with a giant cat dragon. Is that the way I've pronounced it right?
Correct. Yes, you're flying a cat dragon, also known as a Mao Mao.
Mao Mao. And basically, it's all done via hand movements.
Yeah,
and
it's a lot of rainbows. It was good.
Absolutely fab game. Where did the idea come from for the cat dragon flying with a fist? I'm just intrigued.
So the game was born in a game jam. The theme was dimensions. So we went coming from a different dimension. We wanted to recreate the old school games of Sega, like Outrun, Space Harrier, Afterburner. And we're big fans of Never Ending Story. And so we took all that, took it out another dimension, Flying Cat Dragon.
Yeah, it really reminded me of the old arcades, the speed, the continued running of it. Rather than like the new runners, just had that real nice blocky feel to it. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. We've made a conscious effort to be old school. We've got 320 by 200 pixels, so it's very chunky, big fat pixels. Yeah. You got chiptune music going, super scaling effects, and it's very old school.
Fantastic.
How long have you been working on it?
So the game, unfortunately, we have day jobs, so we couldn't have spare time. Yeah. It's now been 2 years, 2 months since we started on it.
Wow.
It's going well, but it needs to be finished and out there. People keep wanting to play the game.
Absolutely. And so have you got a release window you're looking for next year, or?
Oh, it's pretty much as soon as I can. I can't say when. It's just basically soon. But follow us on the social medias, MaoMaoCastle.com, and Twitter, Sobitech, and all that stuff. It'd be great.
Will do. Thanks very much for that, and we'll put a link description as well on the podcast. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Jambaggers, we are over halfway through our second day at EGX, and here's our update for what we've seen so far. We've seen some pretty cool stuff, haven't we, Rudy?
We've definitely seen some stuff. We had another ham and cheese sandwich. What did you have?
I had a deli meat feast full of the stinkiest meats you can imagine.
I said I'm feeling a bit poorly. I decided to have a healthy drink that I bought beforehand. It was a smoothie had spinach in it, had ginger in it, had apple in it, had celery in it, and yes.
It looked like snot juice.
And it tasted very much like snot juice. It was really horrible and hasn't really made it any better at all. So you could say that it was a wasted £2.50.
I would definitely say I did not know you paid that much for it, and I feel like you should get your money and your time and your kind of digestive system back.
I feel that when this turns into an inevitable full-blown cold, it will be, that most of the green goo coming out of it will be very reminiscent of it, and I might be able to bottle it and sell it back to them again. It will be organic.
Should we talk about games now?
Yeah, so, okay. Today we played a bit more on indie games. We played a few other games, but let's talk, first of all, recommended Disco Elysium. Disco Elysium. I couldn't pronounce it correctly.
I'm going with Elysium, but it could be Elysium. It's a detective RPG. I don't think it's on consoles yet. I think it's coming out on Steam first.
Yeah, they're looking for a Steam release. So it's a top-down sort of RPG, sort of click and point adventure, text-heavy, but with an incredible art style, which is pretty much all hand-drawn.
Yeah, sort of oil painting style, like over the top of the rendering that they've done already. So it looks very cool. We're going to probably put some stuff on our brand new Instagram about some of the screenshots we saw. Yeah,
and that was really, really cool. I really enjoyed it. It's one that hopefully will run on one of our old PCs, because we're not PC gamers. Also, really, really nice people to talk to. Gave us a really good lowdown on what was going on with the game. Didn't get a chance to record because it was quite busy, but really cool. What else did we play? We've been
Mao Mao Castle with was it
Mao Mao Castle with Quang, we talked about earlier on the podcast. We had an interview with him. That was really, really fun. That's a definite purchase for me with the little dongle for the hand thing because it's great for the kids. It was a game where we had a brief interview, but you moved your hand and controlled a cat dragon, or dragon cat. And it was very old blocky, kind of like Road Rage, sort of Sega-style graphics.
Yeah, sort of low res, but looked like a lot of time had been put into the art as well.
And really, really fun and just quite addictive. So that's definitely a purchase for us. We've also been doing a few other bits and bobs.
Yeah, we played some stuff on the Nintendo Switch. I gave Doom a try, and I felt very strange that I was trying to play the controls as a non-inverter because someone had inverted the controls for me to start off with, and I found myself kind of looking in the wrong direction. So I feel very confused and like I've lost a bit of my identity.
And I found it confusing because I played Dark Souls, which is what I was playing to on the Switch. So obviously Dark Souls is a very old game. Remasters come out earlier this year for Xbox, PS4. Switch release was delayed for unknown reasons. I was kind of intrigued to see if it was actually running on a Switch, if this is vaporware, because it's supposed to come out in May, and now it's supposed to come out, coming out in November, I believe. And I've been tempted to get it on the Switch because I thought, what would it play like? Having portable, potentially since it's got a lot of portable games on it. And it played okay, except for the controls were not as rock solid as another console when I'm using the Joy-Cons attached. So I don't know. With the Pro Controller, great. I'm not sure in handheld if the controls felt quite right. Maybe it's because I'm used to playing Bloodborne and so on the PlayStation.
Yeah, I thought Doom just wasn't quite as smooth as. I mean, the graphics were great. It looked really good on the Switch, but yeah, just the controls just didn't feel quite right. Played a couple of other smaller games on the Switch. One called I think it was called Moonlighting. About this kind of guy that's kind of goes questing in dungeons, picks out kind of loot and stuff, and then sells it in a shop, and then kind of upgrades from there. It's quite an interesting little game worth keeping an eye out if you do have a Switch, which I don't. So.
Well, I do play quite a lot of indies on the Switch, so I might have a look at that. And we also had a really good time playing Tanglewood, which was a really interesting game. So this was basically an indie game, a passion project of pretty much like a family team. One guy really who wanted to be a Mega Drive developer back in the day.
Yeah,
back when he was 10. He had a Mega Drive. Obviously, things have moved on. And he's worked at many big budget AAA studios since then, but has decided to basically jack it all in and develop a game which is not only on Steam and Mac OS and I think on Windows, but they are also doing a run on Mega Drive.
Yeah, you can buy you can pre-order your Mega Drive cartridge if you've still got your Mega Drive. You can buy this game, and it had that very classic Mega Drive-y feel, a little bit like Sonic, but different enough so that it had its own character.
Yeah, and you play a fox, and I kind of the game sort of segment we played fox. They don't have any combat, but it's about leaping around. It's about avoiding stuff, and there's objectives to help little creatures. And it was a really fun little game, and I'm really tempted to check it out on Steam or on my Mac. But I was really, really just blown away by the commitment that these guys were literally really able to release it on Mega Drive carts. Yeah. They are buying basically boxfuls of old ROMs and casings and taking them apart, putting the ROM onto it, and then onto the chips, and putting those in there. So there's an 85% success rate. So 15% are not going to work, wasted. But they're buying them up based on old warehouses, from old stockists, online, wherever they can get them and do that. And I think that's just a really fun story. I know it's had a bit of attention here at EGX. There was a talk on it, I think, for Digital Foundry, but really, really worth it. And I think just to support what this guy's done, I think his name is Matt, was really, really great.
Yeah,
so
I'm going to get his surname, but the sheer kind of limitations when you think about what 4 megabytes is now, having to fit his entire code onto 4 megabytes that is the maximum of a Mega Drive cartridge is.
And also about how emulators and stuff, how difficult emulators are. And if you do buy the cartridge, you will also get access to a ROM that you can install on another device as well. So you can put it onto another retro gaming device, which I thought was a really, really nice touch. So yeah, that was really, really cool. We went to one of the bigger games we played this morning was Starlink. Was it Battle for Atlas?
So yeah, Starlink Battle for Atlas. I had a surprisingly good time with that. It's a fairly family-orientated game, but the kind of sort of fairly classic style. I mean, I grew up playing TIE Fighter and stuff like that, and it kind of had that very Starfighter-y feel to it.
Yeah, there's a Star Fox vibe to it, strafing left and right. It was kind of like a shooter, but you fly. But the whole gimmick on it is that I don't think it's mandatory, but you get a spaceship with it with weapons, and to swap your weapons out, you attach the spaceship to your controller. It's not too heavy. It didn't really get in the way.
I didn't like. That's the only part I didn't like. I thought maybe if I could have the spaceship on the desk in front of me or something like that, I might have because it did add a little bit of extra weight to the controller, which I wasn't loving.
But yeah, I didn't feel it too much. But I mean, I don't know what it'd be like for long play times.
I think it's more that maybe it got in the way of some of the buttons. When I was trying to switch to inverted controls, I had to press the start button, and it was kind of covered over by the...
That is a good point, actually. I didn't need to. So, but what you would do if you wanted to change a weapon on like one side of the ship, you'd literally just yank off the toy and clip another one in there, and suddenly, boom, that appears on screen, and it loads the game in there, and it recognises it. So, the idea being that you can customise your ship on the go by having all the toys and buying all the toys. So it's obviously it's a Ubisoft title. There's obviously a cash element to it. But overall, though, the actual gameplay was quite fun. I quite enjoyed it.
Definitely, yeah. It was awesome. I think the sheer amount of customization there. Okay, maybe that it's a money-making gimmick, and it's kind of when you think about family games, you kind of worry that they're kind of aiming these money-making things at kids. But let's try not to be too cynical about it. Give it a chance.
Yeah, I think there was a practical application to it in the game, which I liked. Which was it did affect. It wasn't the case of like I get a code that does X, Y, Z. You could do something else with it, and that was quite cool. We got our picture taken with Pip-Boy. Yes,
we did, and that's going on the Instagram account as well. We got some pictures of some pretty cool cosplayers who we're going to put credits to as well. So, some very cool costumes here today. I think more so than yesterday. I think there's kind of a lot more people here, and kind of people bringing their A game with costumes as well. So,
I don't think Saturday is the cosplay day because you get the bigger audience. Yesterday wasn't very busy, the cosplay area, but. Actually, today has been a really big crowd watching the cosplayers. Some really, really great outfits. I don't understand who almost any of them are, but Dante does.
I don't know any of the Overwatch people, which I think a lot of people are going for. But yeah, there's a few. I saw Ciri from The Witcher, who's obviously a character that I really like, and some of the Assassin's Creed types, as well as some Hellblade people, which I'm guessing you knew.
Yeah, the Hellblade one I did know actually, which was great. So you had obviously Senua, but also one of the demon figures she fights variously through the game, and even to the tar dripping down the backs, the guy did a really good effort. So it was a kind of one wouldn't work without the other in both ways. I think Senua would have been all right, but both of them together gave a really cool juxtaposition.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my big word of the day.
And it was kind of strange seeing them all kind of next to the Assassin's Creed people, because that's when you look on our Instagram, you'll see the photo. That's Jambags_UK on Instagram if anyone wants to follow us.
And one question I've got is, what does juxtaposition mean now I've used the word?
It's when you put two very different things in the same shot or to join them together. So
that's what I thought it meant, because I'm obviously very intelligent. And it's got how many syllables?
Is it 5 or 6? Juxtaposition. 5.
5, probably.
Yeah.
Tweet us if we're wrong. So what we're going to do now, our plan is to head back in. We're going to check out some more indie games. We're waiting to the end of the day to check out the last of AAA's, Life is Strange.
Yeah, I think the queues will have died down by then. That worked out really well for us yesterday. We managed to get through Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed, yeah. Very different game, that.
Assassin's Queef.
Assassin's Creed would be an awfully different game. But one I probably would play day one.
Yeah, totally. I'll pre-order that shit.
As opposed to waiting for your inevitable Ubisoft sale, which is what I normally do.
Yeah, no, I think that's what's going to happen for me this year. As much as I did enjoy Odyssey, I just know it's all going to be completely thrown away when I go and play Red Dead Redemption 2 on the 26th.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to check out more indie games. We're going to see if we get a few more interviews. We've got some thanks to make to people at the end, which we'll do. Yeah. And we'll also hopefully have another exclusive interview from quite a senior developer at Semisoft.
Semisoft, yeah. No, the one of the market leaders in open world software from France, Semisoft, have agreed to give us 10 minutes of their time later today.
So we'll get that interview done for you guys too. So onwards and upwards, we are going to go back into the main hall and check some stuff out.
See you later, Jambaggers.
So welcome. We've been pretty privileged here at EGX this year to get an interview with none other than Cedric Le-Tower, who is one of the principal developers and designers at Semisoft. Cedric himself is a bit of a legend in the game industry. Done a lot of these press circuits before, very experienced, but you will know him from the creator of the Stabber's Code franchise, which is now in its 15th year. One of the co-creators of the Long Shrieks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Prehistoric Long Shriek. The Teamsters, which is a racing game, and Watch Cats. And what ties these all together is the open world design that's become synonymous with semi-soft, where you can explore an open world, create multiple objectives, and lose yourself for many, many hours. So first of all, Cedric, thank you very much for joining us.
Hello, Rudy. It is very good to be here on your podcast.
Well, no, thank you very much. And I know that EGX is obviously, like all festivals, a very busy time for you, and we've got a very small slot of time, so I'm not going to waste time here. Now, I'm going to go straight into my questions, if that's okay, Cedric.
Please go ahead.
You're the mastermind of all the above titles, particularly Stabber's Code being one of the most successful franchises in gaming history now.
It is something I am very proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you keep things fresh, do you think, in the video games industry?
Well, I think the core to the semi-soft success is to take a concept that is radically different from lots of different angles, from historical or futuristic to the very modern to combat, and make it exactly the same as the last games that we put out, with different gadgets and animals, perhaps. As we say in France, tout le monde, make it accessible to all gamers. The open world format is what I feel is the pinnacle of gaming, and every gamer I talk to wants a large sandbox to have the fun in, and a mere load of pointless crap to go and collect like feathers or floppy disks.
I mean, that's interesting, and that's also taught me what tout le monde means, I suppose. But does that mean you think you're repeating yourselves a little bit with your games? I mean, do you think that's a fair accusation from what you've just said?
Absolutely not. Where did you get that stupid idea from? All of our games are totally different, you branded English cretin. One series has a drone and you play a supermarine soldier who's taking on the local militia. The other, you play a tourist soldier who kills equally inept local militia without the help of a drone. Unless you download the drone DLC pack that's $9.99 from our website, then you get the drone. But it's completely different.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So I'm sorry if I hit a nerve there.
It is okay. It's the fiery French temperament.
Yeah, but possibly it could be a language difference there between the two of us. I apologise. That wasn't my intent. But one of the things that does, what you have to ask here, if you take the latest Stabber's Code, the beginning, the latest instalment coming out in a couple of weeks, so I wanted to just acknowledge that. Obviously, it was one of the reasons why you're here to talk to me.
In our calendar.
Yeah, it's set in ancient Sumeria, but you get one thing I noticed today. Some of the leaflets are being handed out at EGX, was you get 32 different pre-order versions, and some of them were the point where you actually get an ancient Sumerian soldier delivered to your house, a physical live one, who carries with him a large golden eagle. Which you then have to look after for the rest of both the eagles and the person's natural lives.
It's the Super Gold Edition. See.
Yeah, but you don't actually get a copy of the game with that. You just get an ancient Sumerian soldier who speaks nothing but Sumerian. I mean, do you think this might be confusing for gamers?
Absolutely not. It is the big powers of your tiny British man that cannot comprehend the level of player choice that Semi-Soft is offering its consumers. Many gamers, I mean, the really hardcore gamers, the ones that don't listen to your podcast, the ones that, how you say in English, le whales?
Whales is a term used in gaming, yeah.
They were looking for the kind of challenge in the games where you don't actually get a game with your game. It adds a harder level of difficulty in completing the game due to the fact that you don't actually have a game. My good friend Rand Morbucks from Electric Paintings.
Oh yes.
He calls it a sense of pride and accomplishment.
I mean, certainly we've had Rand on the podcast saying very similar things about his games, and I suppose I see a point there is that that you are offering a different, unique product in each 32 of those versions of Stabber's Code. Now, there are rumours. I don't want to spread put fuel on the fire or anything, but there are rumours that Electric Paintings and Rand Morbucks, they might be losing a very famous franchise, the Blue Harvest franchise. Set in a galaxy quite near.
I've heard this also.
In an imaginary world, perhaps you're given this new franchise as a brand new playground. What would you do with that idea?
Well, I have actually mapped this out with my colleagues before. I'd spoken to my good friend Peter Mollies about what could be done about the the Blue Harvest franchise, we have had this good brain fart about what we could do, and we said that we would come up with a scenario, something completely different from any of our games. You play a dark galactic ninja monk that is in a massive open world galaxy. He has to shape the course of the Galactic Confederation from behind the scenes by stabbing his way through the corrupt echelons of power with the help of his flashy flying drone. I mean droid that looks a bit like an eagle.
Well, it's interesting you've already mapped those out, and maybe this is, in fact, the first that the gaming community is hearing about that, although, as you said, many hardcore gamers...
I think it would be so shocking, it would be so different from every game possibly imaginable.
I mean, and as you said, I mean, many hardcore gamers don't listen to our podcast, or non-hardcore gamers, to be honest. But I'm going to ask you one final question. This is something that I've been asked because, obviously, it comes across your identity and the company, but according to your Wikipedia page, you're actually from Basingstoke. And I noticed you have a very thick French accent.
It is a requirement for working at Semi-Soft that... I'm sorry. It's just something I'm supposed to do for the company. I mean, can we
sorry. Yeah. Okay. We'll kind of finish. So anyway, thank you very much, Cedric Le-Tower.
Oui.
It's been a fantastic interview. I know that there is a line of pressers behind me waiting to get to you and ask you hopefully very different questions to that. So thank you again for your time, and I hope you do the absolute best with Stabbles Code beginning of the beginning.
Merci beaucoup.
Okay, and au revoir.
Au revoir.
Back at the train station, we finished EGX for this year. We're going to go back into Birmingham and get some food. What are your closing thoughts?
I've had a really good time. I think getting all the big stuff out of the way yesterday meant that we could concentrate on a lot of the smaller stuff today. Also, we continue to be hosed for any free merchandise because we've done quite well at getting free stuff.
We have hoovered crap up like no tomorrow. I mean, I got a load of napkins from the cafe.
Yeah, I got a T-shirt from Life is Strange, but also I stole a whole load of the staff badges from behind the desk.
Yeah, I also managed to, in the Nintendo Labo section, I created a Nintendo Switch out of the cardboard, and then when I was playing one of the Switch games, swapped it around for the Switch.
I was very impressed by how you managed to do that with nobody noticing.
Absolutely, and the guys were just completely oblivious. I mean, you can tell they're from an agency. They're not really too bothered about it. It looked like a Switch. I painted it the same way. I'd written Nintendo on the back.
I've also managed to steal enough Assassin's Creed shields to make a small house out of.
Yeah, you were actually going to clad the outside because it's plastic covered, isn't it? You're going to clad the outside of your house to save on heating bills.
Yeah, it's going to insulate my house really nicely, so thanks, Ubisoft.
Tried to steal one of the toys from Starlink, but they weren't having any of it. They just noticed it in my pocket because it was sticking out. It was my front pocket. It was sticking out my trousers.
Well, you're trying to hide a big spaceship down there. You walk in, with a very small package and you walk out with a very large one. People are going to notice.
I tried to pass it off as a simple erection, but I was spotted and someone yanked the R-Wing from Star Fox right out of it.
It's just not that sexy a game, so I can see why they were suspicious.
Yeah, you got a good point there. But what else have we done? We covered off. You managed to get some votes in for your favourite on Transfuser.
Yeah, I voted for Doom Buggies to win the Transfuser, and then I went and played something called Meridian Line, which I think I liked even better. So
yeah, there was just so much there. It wasn't really a chance to play everything, and only one could really have your vote, which I felt was a bit tough on everyone, because I would have probably voted for all of them because the passion these guys were showing. So we're going to be tweeting out all the games that we liked from that, and where we've got some ones that we managed to play, just so everyone knows for the few listeners we have. What else managed to get through? We've got Life is Strange. We farted about too much on that, and I think we missed the emotional ending of that demo.
Yeah, it wasn't made clear. We should really kind of read the little notes that they leave around the outside of these demos so we know what we're supposed to do, because the demo itself did not tell us.
Because I read everything. I was reading about the back of the milk, the smoothie that was empty. That's what you can do. You can just read stuff about the world. It wasn't really the idea of the demo. The idea of the demo was, in fact, to get to a conclusion of this part of the chapter, and I'd missed that.
And apparently we missed some fairly emotionally hefty conclusions, some kind of a hook to get us to buy the rest of the game, which I don't feel like doing right now, but maybe I'll Google what I was supposed to find out and see how it was.
I know, because we're emotional man babies, so we wouldn't want that anyway. We wouldn't have really wanted to bring down a cool facade in front of thousands of people.
Yeah, it seemed like a slice of teenage American's life, which was fine. It was quite well done, good voice acting, but nothing that's really going to hook me in, like I say, unless I see that kind of teaser at the end, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw a few other little games before we left as well, some of the nice little indies. Too many to mention, really, is probably the real thing. But as I said, we'll tweet out the ones we like the most. We're about to get on another train. Some guys stood in front of the platform and then trying to exit the platform and made us miss our last train. It's going to be busy. Someone's probably going to grope me.
That's going to be me.
And then some other people probably, hopefully, call the police on Dante.
Hopefully, yeah. I'd like a night in the cells.
And what are we going to have for tea tonight? What are we going to go get for food? It's always the ultimate question I have.
Well, there's various different choices available to us. Kind of Chinese might be winning, but there's also possible pizza.
And also, just to emphasise the freebies I got, I found half a packet of a Subway sandwich in the bin that someone had just left.
You had my sandwich?
No, I got another one for you. That one was a bit more, had a footprint on it, but that seemed good. And I found some chips stuffed down the back of a sofa.
Yeah, the sofa's on by the espresso bars. Yeah, they had quite the gold mine. There was some chocolate-covered raisins down there, which I picked up.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems it's quite handy because you really like those, don't you?
I do, and I was quite surprised to find chocolate raisins kind of in a place where I'd been the previous day and I hadn't seen them then. It's like they've been on the floor all night.
Interruption from a service announcement. I think it means that our train's coming, so that's our train. Right. So we'll catch you guys later.
Jambags out. See you later.
And as an epilogue now to our EGX 2018 special, myself and Dante would just like to say a few final words after a long weekend. We're back safe and sound in the place where we're staying. We've got our Jimmy Jams on.
Matching Jimmy Jams.
Matching Jambags, Jimmy Jams. We're also we've had our hot chocolate and Bovril.
Yeah, marshmallows.
We're getting ready to go to sleep, and when we're going to sleep, we'll be heading our separate ways. And going back to opposite ends of the country and doing this via Twitch. But what we did want to say was really to talk a bit about EGX and what it means. So first of all, we've got some shout-outs. We've met loads and loads of people, too many people to talk about, in various queues, doing all sorts of different stuff, some really nice people. Can't shout out to all of them, but some of them hopefully might listen to this podcast. So for those people, thank you very much. And it's helps make the event, but there are a few special shout-outs.
We had a very nice meet-up with Gaz from Pretty Good Gaming. Follow those guys at Pretty Bad Tweets on Twitter and Pretty Good Gaming on YouTube. We met some of the other sort of patrons that we converse with through the gaming community on there, and it was really nice to meet them in person to kind of get to know them and to kind of talk about gaming as a whole and sort of where it's going and how it works in the community.
And as well, shout out to Darren Colley, met through the community. Great guy, journalist at anybuttongaming.com, does gaming reviews and web reviews. I'd recommend checking it out, particularly his Dead Cells review, which is the only internet review that isn't plagiarised, I believe. Really nice to finally meet Darren, pointing us the way of some great developers and some great games as well. So thank you very much for that. Anyone else want to shout out to? We met some great developers. It's probably the most eccentric was
Quang,
who you've heard on the podcast, but Mao Mao, which is a great game. And yeah, to be honest, I really wanted to say a word about what EGX means at gaming festivals like this. Now, this is our second year at EGX, and it was actually the first EGX last year where we came up with the idea to do this podcast. It took us a few months to get our asses in gear.
That's right.
But I think the gaming community gets a lot of negative press for toxicity, and it certainly does exist, and negativity, death threats, swatting, players, sexism, homophobia, all that kind of stuff, and it does exist, but going to an event like EGX, and we were there, obviously 2 full days, there's an absolute range of different people there, children, families, older people, people our age, which means we're older, people older than us, what I'm trying to say, teenagers, young people who are into cosplay, people who are into different PC gaming, console gaming, portable gaming.
Board gaming, card gaming.
Exactly. Complete, different genders, different sexuality, different race, colour, creed, all that kind of stuff, all mingles in EGX, and it's a really positive experience. We didn't really see anything; it was just there for the love of gaming, and I think that's a really, really impressive thing. And it felt like a really nice atmosphere. And us walking around with our dopey Jambags t-shirts, all we got was people asking what it was, niceness. No one was, openly taking them, Michael, where they were behind our backs. But I'm quite sensitive and have my radar on and didn't pick it up. So I think it's nice to talk about the positives, and an event like EGX pulls out the positives, where everyone's excited about new games, about joining the community. And if you're going there to play the latest big AAA game, or you're there to talk about indies, or you're there to cosplay, or you're there to do board games or wargaming or anything like that, or do esports, or a bit of retro gaming, it doesn't matter what you're there for. You're in a sort of community that's completely okay with everything, and respects that you're there for something different. And I think that's a good thing. So
I think a lot of the media, particularly I think in America, where they have a lot of kind of gun violence, they're very quick to label gamers as kind of a contributing factor to that. And I think sort of an experience like EGX, you kind of see gamers all kind of mingling together, and there's no violence, there's no animosity, there's no kind of people there who are sort of trigger happy and quick to violence or anything like that. It's all, even people that play sort of fairly violent games, they're not there for to kind of start a fight with anybody in particular. They to kind of have fun, like you say, do a bit of esports, maybe a bit competitive in that respect, but not anything that the kind of the press tends to kind of label gamers with, either as being sort of childish or anoraks or kind of monstrous killers, which we didn't see anything like. Well, maybe a few anoraks, but
yeah, there was no monstrous killers there around, except for the people running the bar, who were killing our wallets with their drinks prices,
Yes. Good job it was a tasty beer.
Yeah, it was a good beer. But and finally, the thing that I took away the most was they have got really, really good hand dryers in the toilets. And I mean, like the new ones where a bit like the Dyson ones, but you have your hands in, and then it gives a countdown of how long until it goes off, so you haven't got that kind of thing, like you know exactly how it's going to go, and you can move it in and out sync, and it just really got my hands dry. And I think
it's
that
more for your side YouTube project for hand dryers monthly, isn't it?
It is, but I mean, like, it's such a big event, for there to be such a plethora of good hand dryers was really, really important to me, because I don't like having drippy hands, downward drippy hands, and so I think that's probably a place to leave it. But thanks to everyone who made it such a great weekend. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. And if you've joined us because of meeting us in EGX or seeing our t-shirts or anything like that, then welcome to the Jambaggers.
I hope you'll stick around. We'll try and make it better, because otherwise you won't stick around. But thanks everyone, and if you did go to EGX, hope you had a good time and everyone gets back safely.
Bye everyone.